My
go.
dog, CDL Shorty, man. I appreciate you for coming on, and I'm gonna come on your platform also. And
Yes.
man, let's get down to business, CDL Shorty, man. So, how long you been in trucking?
Since 2015.
2015. Who started? Who? What company you started out with? Swift Transport, man. So talk about that, man. I mean, how was your experience with Swift Transportation? Because, dude, with trucking, a lot of people for some reason they go off of other people experience, and they never even work for the company. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole lot of, he say he she, but nobody actually even worked for Swift. But I've been having a good experience, and you know how it is. But talk about your experience, how your experience was when you was with Swift Transportation.
Okay, cool, no problem. So Swift actually paid for me to go to trucking school in 2015. So I paid, I went, or they paid. I went to trucking school here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And then after that, they sent me to Greer. I ran at the Greer terminal. Um, and it was amazing. I got blessed with an amazing trainer when I got there. So that experience was a very good and humble experience as well too, because you don't get to pick your trainer. So I heard all the horror stories.
Yeah.
You're gonna get somebody that ain't taking showers and stuff like that. So I was
Yeah.
nervous. I was worried about it, but God blessed me with a good trainer.
Yeah.
That was like you. So
Yeah.
um, yeah. So after that, man, I did OTR. I did the Northeast. I did that for 3 months when I first
Yeah.
upgraded to solo status. I was on a dedicated Walmart account my first 3 months in the Northeast, so that got my mountain driving experience, and I was doing it in the snow too. So they got
Yeah.
not only my mountain driving experience, but they got my snow terrain experience too, all in my rookie year, my first 3 months.
Yeah.
And this was, I think y'all are all automatic now, right?
All automatic, unless I'm pretty sure it's all automatic. I would say if you was to lease a truck or something like that, you probably could
Yeah.
request a manual or something like that. But even in that case, it's probably, one out of 100. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yep. Then I went OTR, and everything was good. I was with Swift for a year and 2 months OTR.
Okay. And where you went after you left Swift?
Where I go called Hirschbach, man. I got a little beside myself, and I went and did a lease purchase, man.
Okay.
Worst mistake I ever made in my career.
Worst mistake. Okay. Now look, I want to
Yeah.
talk to you about this. I know you got a mentorship program, and we're going to talk about that also. But before we get to
Yes, sir.
that, I want to talk about, what do you think is a reasonable salary? Because a lot of guys, when they get into trucking, before trucking, I was making, before taxes, $600 um a week.
Okay.
Now, CDL Shell, I'm getting 18 a week now, and
Right.
I could live off that. Like last year I made over 80 grand. I got, I was surviving good off 40 grand. So just imagine I'm living off of 80. But the thing is, most drivers
Right.
have to manage their money right and don't try to keep up with the Jones, man. So many drivers trying to keep up
Yes.
with the Jones. Why are you trying to
Yeah.
keep up with the
Yes,
Jones?
sir.
You mean to tell me you
I
can't live good off of 80 grand a year?
Right, right, right. And see, that was my issue when I was out there. I was telling my wife about this a few weeks ago. Man, if I all the money that I blew when I was out there, because I was having fun. When I first got into trucking,
Yeah,
my first year, you gotta understand, I went through a real bad divorce and I lost my
yeah,
job.
yeah,
So when I got out there and started trucking, I was making 850 to 900 a week. Cause I was running OTR, so I was running the miles, but I was blowing the money. I'm going to
student CDL, shorty. Your first year, stay out. Student, I'm encouraging him, dude. You ain't got no wife, you ain't got no children. My wife, bro, my days are numbered out here. She like, you need to get home, CDL, shorty. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I'm working on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to get my hazmat. I'm about to get my passenger endorsement and
nice.
everything. You know what I'm saying? And then it's gonna be a smooth transition. you know
Nice.
uh but all these these young, like this dude, he was like, man, he was trying to see how hometown. Dude, you worrying about hometown? You don't got no wife, no kids. He was like, well, you got an apartment, get rid of that apartment.
Get, get
I'm like,
rid
how
of
much
that.
you
I don't
paying?
know. Yeah,
Dude,
I
I'm
don't
like,
know
you
why
he
rookies
paying
when I
$800.
man, he need to get rid of that. Go OTR, live in that truck for you can sacrifice a year.
Yeah,
You ain't got no family like that, no kids. You can sacrifice a year. Stack that
yeah,
bread, and I promise you, if you sacrifice a year, I promise you, the by this time next year, you're gonna be in a much better position. Much better
exactly,
position.
exactly. All right, now, dude, let's talk about your uh your mentorship, because I know you have a mentorship
Yes, sir.
program.
Yes, sir.
So talk about that mentorship program, and is any financial advice or any financial guidance involved in that your mentorship program?
Okay, yes, sir. Thank you for allowing me to.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
They don't know that the truck comes with two tanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So me as a CDL
Yeah.
instructor, I got to the point where I would start having the student start pumping diesel fuel. And I wouldn't do it. I would show them how to do it, but I would let them do it. I would give them real world hands-on training. And that was
Yeah.
at the school. See, I never done what you do. You're
Mhm.
OTR with the student and stuff like that. I'm at the school, teaching people that don't have a CDL just yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, so that's a lot. I mean, dude, so you say you have the 2 week program and you have a month program.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And that's dude, a lot of students need that, because dude, over the course of my career, when I run into these terminals, I run into these truck stops and I run into mentors, dude, it's amazing. Dude, I ran into a mentor say he was telling me that he don't even let the student beg. He do all the
That
begging.
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, and I'm gonna tell you why it's ridiculous, and you know why it's ridiculous too. But
Yeah.
man, when I go to these truck stops and I talk to these drivers and I go out and make my YouTube videos, man, that was literally one guy that I ran into a few weeks ago. I'm not gonna say the name of his company on here, but man, me and another driver literally watched this guy struggle for like a good 45 minutes. He had two other drivers helping him trying to get in the hole. When he got in the hole, and this is just parking at the truck stop. This is not like dropping the load off or picking the load up. When he got in the hole, man, we went and talked to him, and he said one of the reasons why he struggled was his trainer never let him back up. His trainer only let him drive.
Dude, a
And see,
lot of them do that.
that's one of the things that really got my attention with you, because like I've been watching your channel, I've been studying you a little bit, and
Yeah.
I like the fact
Right.
that you're very hands on, with your
Yeah.
students. So that's why I was like, Big Lawrence, I love what you do, because I
Yeah.
always try to
Right.
shout you out, because I feel like you
Right.
do it. You're one of the ones that do it the right way, as well as Mr. Junior Honduras on YouTube. God bless him with a chance to meet him. He does it like how you do it. So we need more people out there like you. So I want
Yep.
to appreciate you and give you your
Thank you,
flowers
man.
as well.
I appreciate it. And the thing is, like, my whole thing is, um, it all boils down to money.
Yeah.
Money is it. So the thing is, what Swift's doing right now is, they give you $200 a week to train these students, plus you get all the miles.
Okay.
But let's say if you don't want to run teams with the students. So, but of course, most of these mentors, they're gonna run teams with these students.
Right.
You know, so that's Swift. I guess they saying that's your incentive to train or whatnot. But it should be that Swift should give you more than $200 a week to train these students, because what if you don't want it? Like me, I'm not gonna run teams every week, even though I
Right.
save my money. And money is really never a factor because I save my money. And a lot of times the student get on and they need, I'm buying, dude, you don't even know, dude, or something. Like last student, you get these students food,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? Water. It's a lot. So
Showers.
sometimes that $200, you just be taking care of the student with it. But my thing is, you know how it is, and birds of a feather flock together, CDL Shorty. And the thing is, it's really no other, you know, um, reward bigger than advancing these students' life, man.
Yes, sir.
Dude,
Yes, sir.
dude, that's gonna live with you for the rest of your life, man.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
And it's like some of my students, they doing good. Some of them making, 100 grand a year, and they called me and we reminisce about time he was on my truck. But dude,
Right.
those memories and just that is like a big enough reward for me. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's like,
Yes.
how it is, CDL short. It's
I
no
do.
bigger reward, but at the same time, Swift need to, let's say if you don't want to run team, Swift need to call for $500 a week, man. I feel like, you know what I'm saying?
I
Should
definitely
be
agree
five
with
hundred
you.
dollars a week instead of
Yes.
$200. Because that for those trainers, that them dudes, that's trying to make the money. They trying to make 120 or whatever a year, 120 grand a year. And it's like at the expense of the student. So they just using the student for just highway, interstate.
Right. Right. So let me ask you this, because it's been a while since I've done it. But so when you pick up a student from the terminal, how
Yeah.
many how many miles they gotta have before they can upgrade, or how much time do they need to spend with you before they upgrade?
So it's 4 weeks. It's supposed to be 200 hours
Two
drive
hundred.
time.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
200 hours drive time. But if I feel they're ready after 150 hours, I let them go at 150 hours.
Okay. Okay. Prime, Prime is on a different level. Prime, they gotta
Dude,
do.
my CDL through Prime.
Oh. Okay. okay, okay. So
Dude,
Prime got like the I think it's like 60,000 miles or something they got to do.
when I it was 30,000 when I was doing it, 30,000, but I heard it
30.
was up to 50,000. But when
Yeah.
I started, dude, that is so miserable. But the thing
Yeah.
is, CDL Shorty, man, it's like coming from New Orleans, man, coming from the projects, dude. I grew up in the St. Thomas project. Then when they tore that down to regentrify that, we had to move to another project. So for me, leaving New Orleans, going to Springfield, Missouri,
Mhm. Mhm.
was
Yeah, it was
big.
shell shock,
It
wasn't
was
it?
big. It was big because I'm from the project, dude. It was big. So even though my trainer, like I had my first trainer, he was from Chicago, and this dude, he had good intentions, but his delivery was
Yeah.
way off. The
Right.
dude told me, shut the fuck up. But I always
Dang.
laugh at it because I knew where I was going. I seen a
Yeah.
bigger picture. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes, sir.
The
Yes,
big,
sir.
and that's what I tell a lot of students, you have to see the bigger picture. A lot of them hit me up and say, man, I want a trainer like you, but man, just continue to have that
Yes,
tunnel
sir.
vision and see where you're going, man. Because I
Yes,
don't know if
sir.
you listen to Earl Nightingale.
Uh-uh. Mm-mm.
You
He's a
never
trainer
heard
too?
Earl Night? No, Earl Nightingale is a motivational speaker. He's dead and gone now, but he was a motivational speaker from the 50s. And
No, I'm gonna
you
go
ever
look
heard
him
of
up.
Les Brown? You ever heard of Les
Oh,
Brown?
Les
Les
Brown,
Brown get
Eric
all
Thomas. Yeah,
those guys look up to Earl Nightingale.
I'm gonna go look him up right after this
Dude,
conversation.
Earl Nightingale, he had this story where they had this famous chef, this restaurant, this guy, he ran a bunch of restaurants, but he was homeless on a bench. When they
Mm,
asked him, when did you know you was gonna be successful? And he said when he was on a bench homeless in New York City, and he had the thought in his mind.
mm.
That's
Wow.
when you know, because it is all in your head. You know what I'm
Yeah, it's
saying?
all from the mind.
Dude, the whole plan starts from your mind, where you want to go in life. And this guy say he knew he was gonna be successful when he came up with the idea on a bench that he was gonna run
Yes,
these
sir.
restaurants.
Yes, sir.
And that's what I tell students. It's all about that tunnel vision.
Yes, sir.
You got to
Yes,
see it
sir.
through in your damn head, CDL Shorty. And a
Yes,
mind
sir.
and he got this thing where you know uh a ship got to have a compass. You know what I'm saying? In order to
Hmm.
leave that dock. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir.
And
Right.
without that, without a plan, that ship would just float. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yes,
just
sir.
all about having that plan and having that tunnel vision, and it all starts here on the bench, man.
Yes,
But
sir.
yeah, so let's get back to your mentorship program. So your mentorship program, you say you got a 1 week program and you got a month program.
Yeah,
And
2 weeks. Yes,
for
sir.
a lot of truck drivers, when they start out, they nervous or whatever. How do you deal with that, CDL Shorty, a student with nervous? Because I find myself, it's hard to train a nervous student, and some of them, a lot of times, to be honest with you, man, I just route whatever terminal I stop in. I politely tell them, hey, I take over from here, and then whatever terminal I run into, that's where I drop them off. So
Got you.
talk to me about how you deal with a nervous student, and how do you convey that,
So,
train a nervous student.
so one thing that I do is I'm a very it see what we do, me and
Hmm.
you, what we do is it can become very nerve-wracking and scary at times,
Hmm.
because we're literally training people. We literally have our lives in their hands because
Yeah.
these are people that have never driven something this big or something this long before.
Yeah.
So what I do with them is from day one, as soon as I see them, I got a few tactics, and one of my
Yeah.
tactics is from day one. As soon as I see them, I try to cause I'm a fun, loving, outgoing, silly type of person.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I try to walk up to them and crack a joke with them to kind
Yeah.
of ease the tension, a little bit because they're nervous.
Yeah.
I try to make them feel like my brother, my sister, or something like that. And then what I do is when they get in the truck and they nervous, I always tell them, I give them these rules right here. I say, hey, number one, we're gonna be safe. Number
Yeah.
two, relax. Just
Yeah.
relax. Everything's gonna be all right. We not doing rocket science. Just
Mhm.
relax. I know you're gonna get nervous. I always tell them that driver chair is gonna get
Yeah. That. Yeah. Nervous people. Roger.
still gonna
Yeah.
say, it's all right, relax. You got you can do it. Just think about what you're doing.
Mhm.
One of my specialties is and one of my tactics is you know, I put them in sticky situations. So if there's a car, like if let's say if a student stalls out in the middle of traffic, right?
Mhm.
And we got a line of cars behind us blowing at us and stuff like that. Man, I live for moments like that when I'm training because one of the reasons why I love moments like that is because that's when you can break a student right then and there. And what I mean by that is that's when you can reassure them that everything's gonna be all right. I tell all the students this, everything gonna be all right. Don't worry about the cars behind us. Don't even look in your mirrors. It says student driver on this truck for a reason. So just relax. Take a deep breath, relax, push the clutch in, crank up the truck, find your gear, and take me on up the hill or take me on up the street. That's my number one key is I just try to get them relaxed as possible. Once you get
Mhm.
the student relaxed and they feel like that you're on their side, then you can do anything, man. I take my students through downtown Charlotte, and downtown Charlotte is just as tight as Brooklyn, New York.
Mhm.
And I make sure that they're relaxed and they're calm, and yeah, that's how I do it. And then after that, we just have fun. I make them laugh, and we just have fun. And I've been
Yeah.
doing it for 2.5, almost 3 years. And um, yeah, that's just my number one key. And man, it be times I have them. I get them so relaxed to where I'm literally sitting in the passenger seat just
Mhm.
chilling, just chilling. I tell them turn left, turn right, and they got it. So my number one key and my number one secret sauce to the recipe is just make sure the student is relaxed.
Roger. So look, I want to get your thoughts on this CDL shorty. As a CD, like what's the bare minimum you think CDL holder should be making? Like what's the bare minimum? Because a lot of people, what you think, what your thoughts are, like what do you think 40,000, 50,000 should be the bare minimum, even for a rookie coming in? What's the bare minimum a truck driver should be making in the United States? Yeah.
50,000, and,
Yeah.
and that's rookie status because
Right. Yeah.
because there's no way you can tell me, and these are what these mega carriers are doing nowadays. But there's no way you can tell me that I took time off, I went to school, I got a CDL, which is not easy to get, and I'm
Mhm.
driving this big vehicle delivering $1 million worth of merchandise, and you paying me the same amount that you paying somebody that work at McDonald's? That
Yeah.
ain't right to me. That ain't right.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
ain't right. So yeah, about 50, and then you work your way up.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of those drivers come in, they don't even be making half of that. So I
Right.
agree with
Yeah.
you. For a new driver coming in, but like I said, the problem is, Can't be trying to keep up with the Jones. You can really
Yes. Yes.
make a difference in your life and really get to, you know, you know, a good space and get to middle class America and be living real good, you know.
Yes,
So
sir.
another thing, CDL Shorty, I want to talk about is especially for new drivers coming out. Like, what do you think? Uh, like even with your situation when you was a rookie, what are the the most challenging, mistakes you made when you was a rookie driver coming out into this field?
Oh, very good question.
Cause
Hey,
yeah,
I like your questions. I like your questions.
Roger, Roger. Hey, I'm getting better,
I
Roger.
see, I see. I see you
Roger,
now. I see.
Roger.
But
Yeah.
two it was two things. It was two things. Number one was the backing. The backing, always backing, man. You never can get enough backing. I don't care if you're a rookie or if you got 10 years of experience, you never can get enough backing. So
Mhm.
backing was number one. Number two was just learning how to live on the road and be a actual professional driver. You know,
Mhm.
learning how to take showers in the truck stop. That was new. You got to wrap your mind around that. Learning how to, nobody's gonna wake you up out there. It is
Mhm.
your responsibility to wake your own self up and make sure that you make it to deliver that load on time. So
Yeah.
yeah, just those two things. How to learn how to back, and then the professionalism of being over the
All
road.
right. So CDL Shorty, talk to us about. I know you have an upcoming heart surgery coming up,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and I'm with you. I'm praying for you. You're gonna do it, and I can't wait till next year when that
Thank you.
book come out so I can read about it. You know
Thank
what I'm
you. Thank
saying?
you.
So my thing is, I want you to talk to new drivers and just talk to them about some of the things that they should be doing while they out there, as far as just health wise. Like give us some, your advice on that. Even me, I'm trying to come down, and for the most time, I cook on my truck and stuff
Nice.
like that. So just give us some advice on just, overall health and being on the road.
Okay, so one of my number one advices is, even though I complain a lot about it, it did. If I would have took heed, it did say it. Or if I would have took heed, it would have really saved my life. But I think the way they're making us go about it can be changed. But what I'm talking about is referring to the DOT physical.
Mhm.
So the reason I got in my situation is due to my high blood pressure. I was one of those drivers that every year when you go to get your medical card, they would always give me a 1 year card, and they would always tell me, hey, your blood pressure high. I'm gonna grant you a 1 year card, but you need to go see a doctor. So I was always like, yeah, okay, cool, just give my card so I can get on back down the road, and I ignored that. So when you do go get your DOT physicals, just make sure you're taking heed and you're actually listening to the doctor. I don't agree with as much money as they're charging us for the DOT physical, and I feel like the DOT physical, if they're charging us X amount of dollars for the physical and actually making us go get the physical or we can't drive, I feel like the physical should be an actual physical and not just they go in there, ask you a few questions, touch on you, take your blood pressure, and then send you out the door. I feel like that's kind of BS. But as far as my blood pressure, like I said, if I would have took heed, I feel like I would have been in a much better position. So that's number one. Then number two, the truck stops. A bag of candy is $2.99, but
Mhm.
a cup of fruit is like $6.99, which is ridiculous. So go to Walmart, get you some fruit, get you a juicer. Start. It's all about what you put in your body. And my heart condition, one thing that is really my kryptonite on my heart condition is sodium. So if you look on the back of everything, everything's got sodium in it. What
Yeah.
sodium does to your body and to the blood is it soaks it up like a sponge. So that's why you have a lot of blood clots and things of that nature. So start drinking a lot more water. Stay away from sodium. If you can, my cardiologist told me 2,000 milligrams of sodium a day. is all I can have. But if you look at how much so
Mhm.
jumping jacks, you can do squats, things of that nature, to really help out with driver health.
Okay. All right. Now let me ask you this question: what do you say to a driver that have high blood pressure but do not want to take the medicine and want to go just switch the diet up? Let's say take ginger. What are your thoughts on that? As far as if a driver don't want to take the high blood pressure medicine, you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so because I tried to do that once upon a time, I tried to go the holistic way.
Okay.
And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. But let me tell you the issue with that is the holistic way.
Hmm.
The medication does. Now, I'm not an advocate for medication. I trust me, I don't like it. I think it's a money grab at the end of the day, blah blah blah. But the medication can bring your blood pressure down like that. Versus if you try to do it the holistic way, it's gonna take a few days. Because before I took medicine, I told my wife this too. Another truck driver's trick getting your blood pressure down is apple cider vinegar.
Hmm.
Driver taught me that trick. But the key with the apple cider vinegar is it takes 2 weeks to kick in.
Hmm.
Versus if you take a blood pressure pill, that's 30 minutes
Yeah.
to get your blood pressure down.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're going to go the holistic route, I would just say do the man-made medication first, get on track with it, then do the holistic route and wean yourself off of the man-made medication. Because high blood pressure within African Americans as well is very common, and it's the silent killer. I mean, your blood pressure can be in the 2000s, or not 2000 but the 200s, and you won't even know. You won't even know. You'll go to sleep one day and won't ever wake up. So
Yeah.
do the holistic thing. You can definitely take that route too. But man-made medication is faster than the holistic part.
Oh man, CDL Shorty, man, dude, we're gonna have to continue this conversation on your platform. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Look, and once you figured out this whole YouTube thing, bro, we're gonna chop it up on your channel and continue this
I tell you
great
what,
conversation.
offline,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
like I gotta check in see what Big Lawrence doing out
yeah,
there. So
yeah.
yes,
Man, dude, and another thing, man, before you go, so I don't, dude. I'm gonna just go in on it. So you believe in God, right?
I believe in God. Yes, sir.
That's all I want to hear. So we're gonna continue this conversation. God is good, man. I can't wait till your book come out, and we're gonna continue this conversation. And like you say, hit me up or whatever later on offline, bro, and I'll show you how to do it, and we could get on your platform tomorrow.
I will. I
God is
will.
good, baby.
I'm gonna get at you preferably tomorrow, maybe afternoon, and yeah, you can walk me through how to do it, and we're gonna make it happen.
All right, Captain. It was a good conversation. I'll holler at you tomorrow, brother.
All right, brother. Take care.
Take care. One.